Oh, hey everyone. Hey, it's Friday. It's Frog Friday. Hey, we're talking about amphibians this week, right? And we learned a lot about the characteristics of an amphibian. A frog is an amphibian. Let's find out what we already know about frogs. I hope you made a list about what you knew about frogs. And let's find out what we didn't know about frogs. So here we go. This is not a fiction text. This is an informational nonfiction test. And look, it has a table of contents. Remember we talked about table of contents? It has different chapters with different headings, okay? So we're going to read the headings first. This one is called Splash. Look at that frog jump, okay? Splish splash. What is that sound? What is hopping and jumping around? What loves to swim? What loves to eat bugs? It's a frog. Can you hop like a frog? I know you can. I've seen you do it. Look at these pictures. What do you notice about all these different pictures? Right? Frogs look different. There are different kinds of frogs. Frogs live all over the world, except Antarctica. Why do you think they don't live in Antarctica? I wonder. What's the weather? What's it like in Antarctica? It's frozen and cold. And we know, what do we know about frogs? Frogs usually live in wet places. They like rivers, lakes, and ponds. But some frogs live in trees. Some even live in the desert. Frogs can be found all over the world. Wherever they live, that's called their habitat. We know that word habitat, where animals live. This one is called croak. Look at this frog croaking. Some frogs' throats puff up when they make sounds. Each type of frog makes its own special sound. The coqui frog is named after the sound it makes. It sounds like coqui, coqui. This frog is the size of a quarter. Even small frogs can make really loud sounds. I know about that because I know that little people can make really loud sounds, right? You can make a loud sound. Whoa. Look at those frog legs. Frogs make different sounds for different reasons, okay? Sometimes it's to warn other frogs of danger, and sometimes it's to call to other frogs nearby. Hey, frogs talk to each other. This frog lives around noisy waterfalls. Other frogs would not be able to hear its calls. So guess what it does? It dances. Instead, it sticks out one leg and then the other leg. Do you think you could dance like this frog? Stick out your legs like a frog. His friends can't hear him, so he makes body language, almost like American Sign Language that we know, right? This chapter is called Frog Food. What do you think a frog eats? Well, look at that picture. Oh my. What is a frog's favorite food? Usually it's insects. Frogs eat dragonflies and crickets and other bugs. Yum, yum. Some frogs eat bigger animals like worms and mice. The American bullfrog even eats other frogs. Ooh. How about that? I don't think I would like to eat like a frog. Would you? All right. Look at, I see something here, right? You measure with this, okay? What's that pink flash? It's how a frog catches its bugs. It shoots out its long, sticky tongue at a passing bug. The frog pulls the bug back into its mouth. If your tongue were as long as a frog's, it would reach to your belly button. So look at the size of the frog and look how long his tongue is compared, okay? They measured his tongue with a ruler. It's about the size of his whole body. Is your tongue that big? Mine isn't. This chapter is called Every Size and Color. Oh my goodness. Look how teeny that one is, and which is the bigger one? That's a big frog. I don't want to meet that frog. Frogs can be many different sizes. The smallest frog is as big as a fingernail, and the largest is as big as a rabbit. You mean that frog's as big as Louie? That's a big frog. Now look at this, all different types and colors of frogs. Frogs can be different colors too. Some are green or brown. Others have spots or stripes. Frogs can be red, yellow, or orange, and they can even be a bright blue color. What do you think of that? This chapter is called Watch Out. Watch out, okay? These colorful frogs may look pretty, but watch out. These frogs have poison in their skin. Their bright color warns enemies not to eat them. So, some frogs are poisonous. Other animals will get sick if they eat them. That's their defense mechanism, right? Like a skunk is stinky, a frog is very bright colored and it keeps predators away. This little frog is only an inch long. Its name is terribilis, which means the terrible one. How did it get that name? By being the most deadly frog of all. One terribilis has enough poison to kill 20,000 mice. Wow, he's really small, but he's really deadly, huh? Here, this chapter is called Frog Babies. We know that frogs are oviparous. What does that mean? They lay eggs. Very good. Here we go. There's their eggs. Look. You can see the little tadpoles in the eggs. All frogs, even the terribilis, have mothers. Mother frogs lay eggs. When the eggs are ready, out pop the tadpoles. You see the tadpole? What does a tadpole look like? Does that look like a frog? Looks like a fish. Tadpoles are baby frogs. But they don't look like frogs yet. Tadpoles have tails, and they live only in the water. Tadpoles grow up to be frogs. Here's the stages. Here's the tadpole stage. Number 1. At first, they breathe underwater with gills. Number 2, they grow lungs for breathing air. Number 3, they grow legs for hopping and swimming. And number 4, in 3 months, they lose their tails. It's time to hop out of the water. How about that? They go through all those stages of metamorphosis. That's the big word of the week. Metamorphosis means to change from one thing to another. Toads are frogs too, okay? Yeah, toads are frogs, a type of a frog, okay? What's the difference between toads and frogs? Okay, let's learn. What do you think the difference is? Just look at them. Just by looking at them, you could see there's a lot of differences of their characteristics, how we could see them, what they look like, okay? Some frogs are poisonous. They're moist and smooth. They have teeth in their upper jaw. They have long, powerful, jumping legs, and most frogs have webbed feet. And they lay their eggs in clusters or groups. That's a frog. Now, what's different about a toad? Toad is a type of frog. And frogs spend most of their lives around water. Toads spend more time on dry land. Their bodies are built for where they live. They have different habitats, and their bodies are built for those habitats, okay? The toad's eyes do not bulge out like a frog's, okay? And a poison gland is located behind each eye, all right? They don't have any teeth. They are dry and bumpy. We can see that in their skin. They lay their eggs in long chains, okay? And some toads give birth to live animals, not eggs, okay? And they have shorter legs. So that's the difference between a frog and a toad. And you could just see the difference by looking at them, okay? So I think you just learned a lot about frogs just now. And if you watch the videos about frogs, you'll learn even more. But what's really cool about frogs and about most, I guess, all amphibians is that they start out as something else when they're babies and they turn into something new as they grow. Okay, so that's metamorphosis. It's changing. So they start out as eggs. The frog lays the eggs, yeah? And then out pops the tadpole. That looks a lot like a fish. It has a tail and it has gills because it could breathe underwater. Then what happens is it goes over here and it starts to grow back legs and front legs. But look, it still has a tail. So we call that a froglet, a froglet. And then eventually the froglet grows up into an adult frog. Isn't that cool? Okay, so you have some work to do. You have a worksheet where you can cut and paste and color the life cycle of a frog. Okay, so I want you to do your work, but I want you to have fun with it. Okay, and then you could also, there's a color frog. You could color a frog. I think it's color by number. Color a frog by number. Oh no, it's not by number. It's by letters. What letter are you going to be looking for on that frog? What's the letter of the week? Da, 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 letter F, because frog begins with F, right? Okay, so I wanted to quickly show you something. I told you that I would show you my recycle project. What did I make? That says USA on it. I had an old cover to a foil pan, and I cut it out. I had to be careful though, because it could cut you. And I made 10. Let's do it together. Let's blast off. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. I had a lot of fun doing that. Okay, have a fabulous Friday.